Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Solaris. And what you'll see is all of her skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, her skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I give you the class Solaris. Here we go. And welcome to the skills slide. If you are new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of her skills, on the right hand side is all the specials that go with those skills, and then next to the column of skill is CD or cooldown for each of the skills, and then the next column is charges, which is how many times you can use that skill, and then hits, how many times the skill will hit a creature or opponent in the world, and then the column damage-PVE is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world, and damage-PVP is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against another player's character. And then you have the passive at the bottom. So just a few things to say, not just one actually, is when you look over in specials and you see the words that are in red, like forward guard and super armor, and you look at the bottom left corner, it just means that those things won't work when you go into arena. It will work everywhere else in the game, even in the open world, but when you step into arena, it won't be there for you. So just be aware of that. Aside from that, take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the top 8 PvE skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvE slide. What I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVE, from the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And if you're wondering why there's a section colored in green, it's because we can only take 8 skills into the world at a time. And these are the ones that I recommend from top all the way down. Now, it's a recommendation. You don't have to say, this is it, I'm just going to choose what's in green. I recommend you try these out first, get the hang of it, and then try the other ones out. For example, your Impale. That's your grab, so it's always important to make sure once you're comfortable with Solaris you can get your grab in as well, and just, I don't know, maybe swap that out for Thermal Rush or maybe Dragon's Rage. You know, it just has a knockdown on hit but a little reduction in the percentage of damage you're doing for a grab. So a lot of technical stuff to consider, but take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvP slide. We have a lot to cover on this slide, so allow me to knock out the basics. I have taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVP, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom, and Lava Explosion is your highest damaging skill. Now, the other thing is, you already know why there's a section colored in green. That's the 8 skills we could take into the world at a time. Everyone always wants to know, what skills can I bring into arena that I don't have to mess around with? I could just use it inside arena and outside, and you have 2. That is Thermal Rush and Impale. And quite honestly, just my personal recommendation, I would probably choose Impale because it's your grab. So if you swap those 2 and you go into arena and you manage to get a grab on your opponent, you're also getting your super armor activated. It's a 2-in-1 move, which would be pretty cool. So if you don't want to mess with that, Thermal Rush is always something that you can do as well. So there's that. The next thing is, I want to cover the passive on this slide, and I also have a video showing you what the passive does. So let me go ahead and read what it is and what it does, and then you'll see the video next. Here we go. It's called Yenix Flame. I think I pronounced that right. It could be Nyx Flame, and the Y is silent. So the way it works for your passive is all you do is you use your skills 3 times. It could be the same skill 3 times or a combination of skills 3 times, and the basic attack does not count for this. And when you do, you get an AoE damage sparks that are generated around you for 7 seconds. So if anyone's standing near you, they're gonna take damage for 7 seconds, and you didn't even touch them. You didn't even do anything. Your passive just activated. How cool is that? When this is active, here's what else you get. A decrease in PvP damage received by 15%, an increase in damage against monsters by 15%, and every 1 second for 5 seconds, look at that, 600% damage plus 200% fixed damage for PvE, and PvP damage is 200 plus 200 fixed damage. And last but not least, the critical hit damage is not applied during your passive. So for 5 to 7 seconds while this is active, you can do massive damage. So I'm excited. Let's go ahead and show you a video of how this works. Let me go ahead and cue that up. Here we go. And here we go. So we have all of our skills at the bottom, and I already verified we're going to mess with the first one, and the guys in the back we're also going to mess with as well. I've already verified that all the skills will activate your passive. So let's go ahead and show you what it looks like when your passive is active first. And we just need to use this skill 3 times. Well, it triggered early. This is what it looks like. You can see the lava at the bottom boiling, but let's show you it is 3 times. You're like, yeah, that was 2. So there's 2, and here's 3. There we go. And I counted it. They go by the Mississippi system, so it's, you see how they died and I didn't do anything? That's the AoE damage I talked about. So it's like 1 Mississippi all the way up to 7 seconds, and that's how we're counting seconds. So I wanted to show you what it looks like when you do just regular damage. And then it's a little tough because of the lava. I'm going to try to do it again so you can see. You see the damage there? Alright, let's see if we can activate our passive and try to get the hit in. It's like trying to get the hit in before the AoE damage hits them and kills them. So just know that it's a heck of a lot more. So let's try this. Let's just let her go on auto and see what she does. She'll probably just... Yeah, that was cool. So now you have a good understanding of how the passive works, and let us go back and return to the PvP slide. Here we go. So now that you know how the passive works and you saw the example, take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the skill combos for Solaris. Here we go. And welcome to the skill combo slide. So I know you're staring at a lot, and we will get to that, but first I want to tell you where you can find this in the game. When you're in the game and you bring up the menu, look to the right where it says skills. You just tap on that, and now you're on the skills screen. And look to the middle and down, and you'll see a magnifying glass with a circle around it. To the right of it, it'll say skill combos. Tap on that, and now you will see a window that will come up, and it will say list of skill combos. Now you would scroll up and down this list to see everything, and what I've done is I've taken everything and put it on one screen. You can print this out or put it on another monitor if you're playing on an emulator. But if you do print it out, I highly recommend you do black and white because this looks a little heavy on the ink. If you were to do color, I wouldn't recommend it unless, well, hey, it's your printer and your color, and that's what you want to do. So now that you know where it's at, let us tell you how it works. On the left-hand side in blue is the skill you would start with. And then let's take the top left corner, Thermal Rush. And if you did that skill, then it chains into the 3 options you have in gray: Cleansing Flame, Primal Wrath, or Call of the Dragon. Your choice. You choose one of those, and if one of those you chose is also one in blue, you can continue the combination. What you're looking at is one of Solaris's strengths over everyone else. She can combo for days, and she can mix it up, and this is really good if you're in arena or with a guild battle and someone's trying to get the hang of what your repetition is. Oh, they always do Thermal Rush and then Cleansing Flame and then Lava Surge. Easy. No, not with Solaris. You can have so many different combinations. You will keep your opponent guessing, and that's what is one of her strengths. Allow me to explain. Let's do this. Top left corner, Thermal Rush to Cleansing Flame. Look below, there's Cleansing Flame to Lava Surge. Below, Lava Surge. You could go back to Cleansing Flame, or you can go to Dragon's Rage. And now we're over on the column on the right in blue, Dragon's Rage. And it goes back to Cleansing Flame. And this really can go on, and that's great. You will not be deprived of any combinations you can make for Solaris. So, take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, called the Enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome to the Enhancement slide. So, there is a lot to cover on this slide, so let me just knock out the basics. And with the interface, on the left hand side is all of her skills. On the far right hand side is all the branch damage that goes with those skills. And then there's 4 columns in the center. The first, second, and fourth, from left to right, are things that help your Solaris. The third column is the column that usually is what happens to the creatures or the player's opponent that you are fighting. It doesn't always turn out that way, but I try to make that column only that. So, first things first. If you look at the second skill called Cleansing Flame and you go all the way over to the right and you see where it says heal 120 HP and heal 240 HP, it's colored differently because when you unlock that enhancement for that skill, Cleansing Flame, it will work everywhere in the game except for Path of Glory. So that's why it's colored differently. And you will see it again on our player card screen or slide in the legend of what doesn't apply in Path of Glory. So be aware of that. The other thing is Pearl Abyss really has supported Solaris because she is a fire specialty character. So her burns are twice as strong than everyone else. What I mean is, look at Primal Wrath towards the middle. It's a bleed effect. It does 60 damage every 1 second for 3 seconds. On other characters that do burn, it's that right there. 60 damage every 1 second for 3 seconds. But for Solaris, because she's fire specialty, for Lava Surge and Cleansing Flame, she does twice the damage for 3 seconds, and it's great. So, something else to point out to you. Now, here's the part that's a little bit long. What the heck is enhancements, and what do I do? So, if you're on the skill screen and you tap on, let's just choose Lava Surge for the example. Tap on Lava Surge, look to the left, you'll see the icon for Lava Surge, and you'll see 4 little bubbles around it. Some of them may have a red number next to them, the little bubbles. So what this means is when you're fighting creatures in the world of Elion or Hadum, you're going to get these books, and they're skill books. So you need to learn these skill books, pay the silver, and this will be a regular routine for you, and even so much you can set it to automatically learn when you open up all the treasure chests and things that you got. So you're not really micromanaging it, but you'll learn your skills a lot more. And when you get to the level it's asking for, say for burn, just for example, if it had a 2 or a 3, they want you to get up to level 2 or level 3 of Lava Surge to then get access to it, pay the silver, and now every time you do Lava Surge, that burn effect is on top of it for more damage. Ultimately, you want all these enhancements unlocked so you can customize how you want to play your Solaris. It's exciting. It really is once everything is unlocked. So this is how it works. When you're in Hadum, you will get skill books and treasure chests, then they'll be a higher quality. But ultimately, you want to just keep at it and level everything up all the way up to max, and you'll be so much stronger and have everything ready to go. So this is how the enhancement section works. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we're going to move on to the next slide called the player card slide. Here we go. And welcome to the player card slide. It is all the slides you previously saw all put together on one slide here, and there's something added that is new. So let me go ahead and introduce the interface to you. At the very top is all of her top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend. To the right of that is something new called Immobilization. Anytime you have a skill that knocks a creature or a player's opponent down, up in the air, or you freeze them or bound, you're immobilizing them. And they need to take time to get back up and get ready to fight again. And when that happens, you can possibly get in an extra hit, maybe 2 more, and that can turn the tide of a battle or a fight. So in green means that she has an immobilization, and then the next column is how many of those does she have. And it looks like Cleansing Flame is the one you want to use the most because she has 2 immobilizations. And if you're wondering, you keep saying that word, I don't know what it means. Look down in skills and look at Cleansing Flame, the second one down, all the way over to the right. Super Armor, it will, when you use it, you get Super Armor, except for an arena, and then you daze on hit your opponent, and you knock back on the last hit the creature or opponent you're fighting. So those are 2 types of immobilizations, the daze and the knockback. Now, whether you get that in is up to Super Armor, and we'll talk about that as we go lower in the player card. But for now, that is how the immobilization section works. You know how the skills section works, and we just talked about the enhancements slide. So below that is the legend for what is not applied in Path of Glory and what is not applied in Arena. So you know about that. And now we come to the definition for Forward Guard and Super Armor. So, Forward Guard. This means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. Think of Forward Guard like an invisible shield in front of your character that as long as someone's attacking you straight on, this will happen. The damage will be either 0 or heavily reduced. But if they get behind you, then all bets are off and they can do normal damage to you. And Super Armor. This means that incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. We don't know how long that time is, but this is what brings me to the point of immobilization. If you and I are in arena and we're fighting against each other, and you had your Solaris, you want to throw as many immobilizations at me as possible. So I would expect you to use Cleansing Flame and any other thing that you want at me. So when my super armor is expired and you get that hit in, you get the immobilization in, I'm knocked down, you're happy because it worked, and now you can get in another hit or maybe 2 more hits, and it'll turn the tide of our fight. This is why the immobilization section is important, and this is how it works. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, where the music is gonna change, we'll go into a gameplay video where we show you what Solaris can do. Here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. Before we get started, let us show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we're at Kron Castle entrance. And we're here because, well, we love it here. Their CP is that low, and her CP is that high. I think she'll be fine. So the way this works is we use this auto path, and we'll have her fight for about 2, maybe 3 minutes, at which time we'll go back to town. I'll give my outro and say thank you. So, without further ado, I give you the class, Solaris. Here we go. And we're just about ready to head back to town. There we go. Alright, so while the loading screen appears, allow me to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like these videos, please subscribe, like, let people know. I'm always making more videos, and there is a lot more videos to do. So what we're doing now is just zooming in and putting Solaris in a pose with a nice background. And we always have her wave. Checking out her wave. And let's check out the way she claps while we're at it. Okay. So, once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And you have yourself a great day. Take care. Bye now.